my webcam today.
Sober Sally's today.
I'm just sleepies.
Sleepies.
Haven't had a lot of good sleep this week, so for obvious reasons and for I don't know, probably seasonal depression. So
I hear that. I mean, it was really like weird mixture of emotions because it was my anniversary, but it was also just like one of the saddest days in the United States. So weird. Weird mixture of emotions.
Yeah, I've had like just a rough week. Just emotionally. Well, yeah, I feel like my ADHD has been really bad the last couple of weeks, and then just like I'm tired all the time and just work stuff, and I don't know. There's a lot, and little things keep happening, like whether it's I can't find my cable or I can't do something else or whatever. It's just like,
Yeah. And then it like accumulates, snowballs, and
yeah, exactly.
we're like, that's what it feels like.
I feel like a little kid when they're like,
That's what it feels like. Like,
I mean, I don't want to focus too much on the obvious election stuff. By the time this comes out, it'll already be like a week or so, a week and a half. We know how that went. I could talk about it, but I don't want to give anyone the satisfaction of me being sad about it. But I did want to highlight some silver linings out of it. There have been some queers, some gays in the Congress at the same time. Even though one part of something is over, it doesn't mean that it's done, and that we're gonna stop fighting or anything. We'll still move on and figure things out. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna pop off some Legibitiqua Alphabet Mafia election winners of 2024, just to highlight some shits. Just going straight into it. We got Julie Johnson, first LGBTQ person from the South ever to be elected to the Congress. She's from Texas. We got Richie Torres, who was already in Congress, and when he was first elected, was the first out LGBTQ Afro-Latine person. Is it Latine? Person elected to Congress, and he is keeping his role after winning this year, so he's going into another year. Mark Takano won his race this year, and he is the sole LGBTQ AAPI person in Congress. Sarah McBride, she won Delaware's only seat in the House of Representatives and is the first out transgender member of Congress.
Let's go.
Emily Randall, she won Washington's 6th congressional district and is the first out LGBTQ Latina in Congress.
Yes.
Tammy Baldwin, when she was first elected, was the first out LGBTQ senator. And this year she won again in Wisconsin and is in her 3rd term.
Yes.
I apologize also if I wreck some of these names. I'm just really bad at names. Mark Buchan, LGBTQ representation, the House of Representatives. Becca Ballant, first ever woman and first out LGBTQ person from Vermont to be elected in Congress. Karen Moore, Michigan's 15th District Court, and I think she's Michigan's District Court, so I think she is in the courthouses. And she in Michigan. And then Eric Sorensen from Illinois, been elected to the House of Representatives. Let's see, Chris Papas from I wanted to say it like Papas.
Like party.
A Papas party. But I also thought potatoes, Papas. But this
Papas,
has 2 P's, so it's not Papas, but I did think Papa's party. Sorry, Chris. It's just me butchering people's names. LGBTQner to serve in Congress as well from New Hampshire. And then
Yay!
Sharice Davis from Kansas, U.S. House of Representatives. Let's see. Oh, besides being in the LGBTQ community, Davids is also one of the very few Native American women to get elected to Congress.
Wow, that's a huge win. Let's fucking go.
Angie Craig has been elected to start her 4th term in Congress representing Minnesota. Marissa Bell Cabrera is getting an LGBTQ voice in Milwaukee County Circuit Court. And that was 14 people, part of the Alphabet Mafia, who are in Congress or re-elected to Congress or House of Representatives or the court systems. So
that is a huge
so I feel like that's something that we could put some energy on, because I know that it's like a weird time right now with the election and everything. The one thing I will say pertaining to the election, I saw like a couple of TikToks about how some people on a certain side are starting to realize they can't afford the taxes that that the Cheeto has proposed, but also that nobody understands tariffs. Yeah, tariffs, we still pay them. And honestly, whether China pays for the imports or we do, either way, if companies have to pay higher tariffs, it will be reflected on the consumers. And that's like the most basic idea. Like, no matter what, if those are higher, companies are gonna put it on the consumer. That's how they make money.
I don't think why that was such a hard concept to understand. I think that a lot of people's issues were the border and
well, it's economy. Like his last term, people thought that Mexico was going to pay for the border. I'm like, we're probably going to end up paying for a border if there's going to be a border. Yeah. Like, y'all think they're going to pay for the wall? Like, how? How did we can't make them?
I just don't understand. Like, I think that I think it's really, really funny that a lot of conservatives are waking up to the fact that they made a huge mistake. Like, I've been already seeing it already. They're like, oh shit, like, damn, actually this might not trickle down to my favor. Like, it might trickle down.
None of y'all have the money to be supported by any of Trump's plans. I'm just saying. But I want to call out a specific, as an example, I'm calling out a specific sect of people, because I am a person who like makes goods. I haven't really done my art business yet, but I know a lot of people. I go to a lot of conventions and buy from artists and Artist Alley and stuff like that. All those, you know, all them right-wing moms who stay at home and sell their Cricut-made vinyl cups and shit and all the other shit like that. All y'all taking over Etsy and shit. Who's just like, who makes these weak ass designs on fucking Stanleys and shit with your fucking Cricut vinyl, weeding your little vinyls and shit. You know you're gonna get fucked because of tariffs. Because if you're importing anything, and I know you are, especially cheap goods that you can engrave or put these vinyl stickers on and stuff, that shit's gonna go higher. AliExpress, Alibaba, Temu, all that shit's gonna be more expensive for you. Which is like,
yeah.
And although I'm making fun of this specific group, I just want to bring that up. But it's because the real conversation of, unfortunately, small business owners are gonna have issues. Oh, do you know that we can't, enamel pins are gonna be something that's gonna be hard for artists? And I like to collect enamel pins. I have a bunch up here. It's because we don't make them in the US because the machines can be used to make like counterfeit coins and shit. So we don't even make them in the US. That's because the taxes are going to be higher on it because affordable services aren't going to be here in the US. So like that's kind of a bummer. And I know a lot of artists who like do pins and stuff, and I love them. They're cute. I have so many. That's kind of a bummer. But that's only just a small part. Like, a lot of small businesses have to import stuff. And it's not like a US made versus China made kind of situation. It's just like we make stuff like the stuff we make are like higher end things because we can sell them for a lot, you know, military things, tech, and stuff like that. And then other places we import, you know, we import a lot of foods and goods and shit.
Mostly, honestly, I think you'll be hard pressed to find something that's like that says made in the USA.
Everyone thinks it's
That's
like a
why I
quality thing. It's crazy. I'm like, whenever people say like Chinese made stuff is low quality, I was like, no, it's because the companies you're buying from are buying the low quality. You know,
yeah,
that's. Have you seen
idiots,
China?
like
Have
they're
you
from
seen what
here.
like Shanghai and all the and places like that look like? They also have very large buildings and very nice. I mean, like, there's countries in Asia. I just feel like people think Asia and any other country are like huts, and like we only live in rice
That's what
fields or
they
some shit. Yeah, there's
that's
parts of
what they
countries
think.
with rice fields. But I'm just like, y'all, are you guys crazy? It's like when people talk about Africa and they think like every country there has a hut. And that's all it is. I'm like, no, there's just cultures that want to preserve their old ways, but there's a lot of developed countries in other places. I mean, this is crazy.
Right,
Have you
right.
guys seen
I think
Singapore?
that this country wants to believe that they're like the best in the world. And of course we have lots of advantages here. There's a reason why people want to come here and take refuge. But I think the US also has to one face its history, face that it's a melting pot of a large amount of people that come from everywhere. That's how this country was founded.
I mean, there was this TikTok, and I think it's part of a larger like YouTube video. But this guy, I don't know if he's like a YouTuber or anything. He's POC. He's talking to like this old white dude, and they're having a conversation basically about shit, and they're like eating food at the same time. So they're having a conversation. Is that the
Yeah,
one?
that's the
And he
video
was
that
like,
I
when my
reposted.
ancestors
Yeah.
built this country, and he was like,
I was like,
you mean Chinese people who worked and built on the railroads, or Native Americans who are already here, or I mean, white people just colonized and made people do stuff. Because unfortunately,
wait, no,
the
no,
original
second year
Aboriginal,
boss everybody around.
indigenous people and all other people, you know, we wanted to try to see the good in people, but these white, that's why white people came up. They were, I'm going to say, I mean, I guess they were bold enough to just be like, we're going to make you do these things. And us as POC, unfortunately, suffered from that, from being a little too trusting.
That's what it is. They came here and delegated and said, no, you do this and you do this and you do this. You're a slave and you're this and you're that and you get in a camp and like that's what y'all came and did. Y'all bossed everybody around and called this land yours. If that's what you want to claim, then claim that. But you didn't build this country. And that's my issue with people. That's my issue with them like banning books. That's my issue with them eliminating critical race theory. It's that like we don't want to feel that white guilt. White
There's
guilt.
literally a book called White Fragility. Read that.
Yeah, I think maybe you should do that. I think I feel like a lot of the people are going to feel the consequences of his election. Primarily the people that voted for him, white women.
Latino men.
I think they're
You see
and
the
Latino.
charts?
Cool.
Well, I
And
mean,
Latino
it's well also
started on
Asian
them. But even
too.
on the Latino people, I cannot believe these fuckers. The way that the Latino vote grew exponentially and how these Latinos were able to just proudly say that they were voting for him. I saw so many people being interviewed on TikTok that were like, oh, like, how do you feel about Trump's deportation plan and stuff? And some lady that was like, she had to be like some South American, whatever. But she was like, oh yeah, like, get him out of here, get him out of here, with her thick ass accent too. Get him out of here, yeah. And he was like, oh, do you have any family that has been here? Oh yeah, of course. Have they been here 20, 30 years? Yeah. And he's like, well, what do you think about them? What do you think they would think about you, you saying this? And they're like, oh, they're very mad at me. They're very mad at me. They don't talk to me anybody. And like he's sort of like dumbfounded. he's kind
Yeah.
of like, oh, okay, like, so like you don't care if they leave, if they get deported, after they've been here most of their lives. She's like, oh yeah, they can go, but they can come back the legal way. They can come back the legal way for sure. You can just come back right away. I'm like, what? How is it? How is it that people are so deluded in thinking that people can just come back?
Yeah.
Like,
It takes
like
years to get a citizenship.
years. It takes years. It's difficult. The residency route is hard here. The naturalized citizenship is hard here. Like it's not like this, and like I'm a naturalized citizen too, and I was here. I became a naturalized citizen at 21, and I was going to become a naturalized citizen at 17, but like shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit happens, and I couldn't. So it's like me also hearing that Latinos, my very own people, Dike, my very own people, say like, take these people out of here. That shit really, really got to me because like, what the white folk, fuck the white folk. They're gonna do what they do best, white. But Latinos, y'all people are so deluded. Y'all want to be white so bad. Oh my god, and it shows so much, and that got me so
That
mad.
goes for like the Asian vote too. I also saw a thing like about people in like Miami being interviewed, and they're like mostly Cuban, but it's because a lot of like people are from like communist countries, and they believe people when they say like some of the policies are gonna make it into a communist country, so they're like just they'll do anything to avoid it, but it doesn't favor you at all. We're also not a communist country, but it's just like so like the Asian vote too is only like 50 something percent. But I will say it has been shown that like some Asian people were lumped into the other category as well. So there might be a lot more people technically that are Asian, but they're in the other category for whatever reason. Um I forgot the whole explanation. There's a whole explanation. I don't remember it. But I've found out like majority of Vietnamese Americans are conservative because they already come from a country that's kind of conservative. I say that there are quite a few. There a lot of countries in Asia are kind of technically a little more conservative, but the problem is there's also just like I guess Vietnamese people are really like anti-Chinese. So like when Trump starts talking shit on Chinese people, they're like yeah. And this is like obviously like majority older Asian people, but I'm sure they influence their families, stuff like that. Um, and then apparently, I just found this out. I guess I just grew up in in my California Filipino bubble, but I guess a bunch of Filipino Americans also were like very Trump votery, and I'm like disappointed, because I'm from the Bay, which is, you know, pretty heavily Filipino, and majority of them there would have voted blue. But I did look at like the actual red and blue map of California, and it's a lot. The red is a lot. There's like a red wave that was much larger than 2020, you know? And that's so crazy to me. As a Californian, I'm disappointed. We've always been such a blue state that it's so, and it's
Wasn't
also
it
like
California that voted to like? Am I wrong? They said that they wanted to continue slavery, like voted for it.
I don't. I think I saw
Am I
something
wrong?
about that. Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know what happened. But also it's just like it's not even just people who are conservative because I think some of these people are like straight up just Trump supporters, which I feel like there's a difference. Obviously, most conservatives are gonna vote red, but there's also kind of a difference of like Trump supporters and conservatives too, because there's just like
Very huge difference in that.
there's a
Yes,
very big
I
distinction,
agree.
and it's
There's a huge
scary.
there's a huge distinction in that because people are now calling this like two party system like Democrats and the Donald Trump party. Like
Which is so
and it's just
crazy.
kind of
It's
like
just like this. I don't know how this amount of delusion exists. You know,
I felt a little crazy because a few weeks ago, like maybe like a month ago, I was like, I think that he is gonna win. I think he's gonna win because I think there should be like a huge wake up call here because he's been running really for like the last 9 years. Like really, he had when he stopped being president, he still was
He
in
just
the
hasn't
limelight.
shut the
He was
fuck
still like,
up, so you know.
yeah, he was still saying shit. He was still like fucking Roe v. Wade. He was still like behind things, you know. And I think that from 2020 to 2024, there's been a huge like sort of increase in people who think that they're taking their rights are being taken away, like white people and men.
Oh yeah,
Like
they're
men
victimizing
just think
themselves.
that
They have to always victimize
yeah,
themselves somehow.
exactly. Men are just like and like in that video with the white guy and the Asian dude like at the restaurant, he was like the whites have to survive. Like he was like
He's like, the more and more we're
I see my
becoming a
race going
minority, and it's
away.
like, what the fuck?
And you know what? It's very interesting because now what I see is that the whites have never felt like the minority. They've never like had to deal with the feelings
But they
that
like to victimize
minorities
themselves into
feel that way.
thinking that. But it's
Yes,
like,
exactly.
especially all these people who are like, if Kamala gets elected, I want to leave the country. I'm like, oh, so you're gonna immigrate to another country
And
to better
you're
your
gonna do the
life
same thing that people
and
already
your
do
way of
here.
living? Huh? Sounds familiar.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like yes, Donald
Interesting.
Trump's just never shut up since the last election, and I feel like unfortunately it got to because I'm gonna say this. I'm actually not affiliated with a party when I registered to vote. I'm unaffiliated to any party. But like the Democrats ran honestly a really bad campaign because when Biden dropped out, it was like it's like either he should have done it earlier so there could have been more time for campaigning and actual, stuff. But like that already looked bad.
Dating.
It looked bad for him to pull out and then Kamala comes in and that only had like some months left of campaigning. But they also ran a campaign that was very unsure to me. They didn't have like a direct stance on Palestine and any of the other like wars and genocide right now. And then there was just like the one thing I did feel comfortable with was queer rights and women rights. So that was something that I felt comfortable with, but it really sucked that foreign policy just was not clear. They didn't run a very clear campaign about that, which I think really put off a lot of people. Um,
Yeah, it was that and the fact that like she was leaning conservative. She was leaning Republican for a lot of her campaign. The fact that she
it
brought
was
in
like a
like
right wing campaign, right wingish
yeah, like
campaign
it felt that way. It felt that
with
way,
some queers and women sprinkled in there. You know.
but a little bit of sprinkle of that. But what really sort of turned me off is the fact that, felt she felt inclined to say that Israel should always defend themselves and that she mentioned like fracking, which I'm just like, I think she mentioned it in the debate with him. And I was like, fracking? Like, why are we supporting fracking again? Like, isn't Trump the drill baby drill dude? You're trying to continue fracking and isn't the Biden administration and the Democratic Party supposed to be very like pro climate change? Isn't this the party that's supposed to, I know the Green Party is too, but Jill Stein and her bullshit,
But also, none
I'd
of
rather.
the other party. I don't even blame third party voters. This campaign was bad, you
I
know.
didn't either.
Um,
I didn't either. Not at
but like
all.
none of the other parties were just. I mean, they don't have the funds to run a campaign that's this big, anyways. They just can't draw the attention at all for it. But yeah, and obviously people are like, then why'd you vote for her? But like I just said that I still felt more comfortable with some of the stuff. And it really sucks to always say like the lesser of two evils. But it's just like at this point, it's always gonna be that way because I don't trust politicians. It's
Exactly.
gonna
And I
constantly
felt the
be
same.
like this. Um
I felt the same.
And even if I had voted
like
third parties, they lost too, and it's just like there wasn't going to be a win anywhere because no one was united in this front. The one thing I'll give fucking Trumpers is that their delusion really just makes them clear on what they wanted, and that's what we need on the other side. Being a
and
clear
that's what it was.
thing that you want, even though Trump is not clear. I mean, he's clear that he's racist and misogynist and all that stuff, but they just make him say words, that buzzwords and shit like that to get people going. And
He
then
just says things. He just says
he
things,
says
and the
things
thing is that
because
what he
like
says
no
is
other
very
conservative
simple.
like people who have ran in the past, like they'll get support and stuff, but I never felt like it was a hit too bad of it, like in terms of everything. Like if they got elected in the past. But like this is different because it's a hate campaign and it's really drawing out the fucking terrible people in the country right
Right.
now. It's
Yeah,
wild.
it's everyone who has hated in secret, but now they just publicly hate because he's given them permission to do that,
It's just
and that's
they're
what he's been
bold
doing
now.
for
They're
like
emboldened.
nearly like a decade. Yeah, and the thing is about him is that he might not be like clear and like concise to us like bigger brain folk. But what it is that like he says things that are just kind of like clear. Like the border, I got it. I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah,
We
even
gonna
if
do
he
it.
can't fucking do it,
Like,
he'll just say it, and people will
yeah,
just
he'll
take
just
it
say
at
it.
it as it
And no
is.
one will question how. No one will question how. Like all of his loyal fans, because they're fans, that's what they are. And his groupies, no one will question it at all. They're just here like, oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna give me my job back. He's gonna make the economy better. He's gonna like do everything. He's gonna protect our rights. Women. He's like, I'm gonna protect you no matter what, if you don't like it or not. And women are like, yeah. And that's why they run to the fucking polls. Because they're like, because everyone who ran to the polls knew what they were doing and knew that they were like definitely trusting him. Everyone that voted for Kamala was either like, yeah, she's gonna support my rights because I'm a woman and I'm queer. But other than that, I'm walking to the polls. I'm not really running over there to vote.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. They were unsure of her, but they did it hesitantly. And the people that voted for Trump just did it and they ran over there because
And
they were like,
the
yes, I fucking
Dulu
love that
is
man.
crazy in that because all the like TikTok things of people like man on the street interviews, they'll say one thing about the other side, but then they're like, but if Trump says it, I'll do it, and it's just like it's that conversation we talked about celebrity just like stands and like
Yeah.
worship and how people can't separate like that they're not these celebrities friends. I don't know. Trump is not going to notice you and give you a bunch of money, Same with any other celebrity. You're not their friend. But that's what these people are right now. They're at this
Yeah.
weirdness and it sucks.
Yeah.
But like I said, I know we've already been talking about like the last 20 minutes about it. About like the negative, but we went down those silver linings of the people in Congress, and the fight is going to start from where we're at in your local places, and get involved in your own spaces.
Get involved. Make sure that you're voting in your local elections.
Yeah. Another positive lining in New York, at least, Proposition 1, which is to expand rights for women and not being discriminated against for being, queer, POC, and other stuff. They have expanded on the rights that we already had, and it is now going to be in the New York Constitution, or right? Yeah. And so it's a set thing now. So
that's
good.
Cool.
I read up on all the propositions before I went in so that I could just remember what I mean, that was the only one I voted yes on, but the other one seemed wild to me, so I was like, no.
Yeah. I think the one. Well, I didn't vote in New York, but
oh yeah, I forgot yours was in Jersey, huh?
I did. Yeah, I'm in Jersey, but we didn't really have anything else on the ballot but people. So there's already like a Freedom of Reproduction Act that was enacted in 2022, sort of like right after like Roe v. Wade. So we're protected in Jersey.
Yep. So yeah, just get involved with your local government, and it's nice to see some queer people in like states that have people elected in the Congress. Hopefully, the fight's not gonna stop. It's not the end of the world. It just really is gonna be kind of terrible for a little while, but we gotta figure out how to support each other, in that time, and figure out how to do stuff.
And
Okay.
if you feel bad about cutting someone off because they voted for Trump,
don't. Just, when people say like protect your own mental health and do what you need to do it. It's fine.
Do it.
Whatever. I think to just lighten the conversation, because we did spend more time to, I think we were just venting, but to move on, just to have like a lighter note, we're gonna do a part 2 of just silly goofy things of different objects or things or ideas that are just seem inherently queer. Things that seem, we had a long list. I still have my old list, so I remembered what I said before, so I just kind of typed the new ones on it so I don't forget what I already had. Did you want to go first?
I was trying to find my old list, but I couldn't find. Where's
Okay, I'll go first. Okay. We said rings before, but I'm gonna specifically say thumb rings.
Wait, what?
Like rings, like finger rings?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, not any other kind of rings that I was talking about. but I'm talking specifically though of a thumb ring, like right, like a little band. Which I brought it up because I wore some rings to my friend's wedding, and I did wear 2 thumb rings, actually. 2. I wore 2. And I realize that seems very gay to me because of like queer women. Like there's something about also like this placement that doesn't seem very masculine or feminine, because I don't really see dudes really, unless they're like they have hella gold on their hands or something. But like just I literally only had 2 like 3 rings on one hand, and one of them is a thumb ring.
I don't know why, but I feel like when I see a girl with a thumb ring, I automatically think queer.
I told you, and right?
When it's matched with sorry, I don't mean to call you out. I don't trust me. But when it's matched with like a beanie, it's just like it just gives.
I didn't wear a beanie to the wedding though. I had a high ponytail.
When it's matched with a beanie, I just feel like it's like perfect. And then also like not just a beanie, but like a watch, and like one like little like tennis bracelet, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't wear watches just because of my stupid little bone that sticks out too much here.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah, I feel the same.
Well, Charlie wears thumb rings too. I mean, she's very much the queer that wears a bunch of rings. She is that person, and she definitely has thumb rings. Okay. I recently found my senior ring from high school. It's like this emerald gold ring that I have. It says my name on it. It has like the sports that I played like on the sides, and they don't fit me. It doesn't fit me anymore. I don't know what finger I bought it for, but it doesn't fit. It's a little too loose for my pinky, but way too tight on any other finger on my hand. So I gave it to Charlie because she has like skinnier fingers than me. I was like, "Does it fit you? Do you want to wear this?" She wears it all the time now. It's her thumb ring.
That's really cute. I like that. I also feel like thumb rings could be like very like ADHD leaning.
Okay, I did
just because like I feel like it's like a good little fidget.
Well, I just saw. Well, I probably would put it on this finger though and play with my thumb. But I did see this company that has a fidget ring, and my ADHD ass did go, I kind of like that.
Does it have little like balls?
Yeah, it spins. I on your hand.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I think I've seen that one.
Definitely thought about getting it because yeah,
You see?
fidgets. But yeah, thumb rings
Yeah.
specifically. They just look inherently queer when I see it on a woman, especially.
100%. 100%.
All right, you got one?
Okay, I have on my list. I have making pottery and ceramics.
Is that a recent trend or has that always been gay? Because I feel like you know how like rock
I
climbing is like a big thing with like lesbians and stuff. Pottery is also a big thing,
a bouldering thing.
and of
Yes,
course for most queer hobbies that create stuff, it's also my straight best friend's hobby.
there it is.
Who
And
dresses
I've been
like a
dying,
lesbian, so you know it really makes
I've been
sense.
dying to I've been dying to like, learn how to throw and stuff. But
Learn how to
I haven't gotten
throw.
a chance to because pottery is a very expensive hobby, let
Oh
me tell
yeah,
you.
most of my hobbies are. I wanted to learn how to like I learned a little bit of woodworking, gay. But I wanted to learn how to use the
A as well.
I wanted to learn how to use a lathe, you know, the spinny thing and you carve the wood into whatever.
Oh yeah. Yes, that's cool. I like that. But yeah, pottery, I think maybe it has become gay over the years, like to
I feel like
craft
it's always been
things.
pretty ambiguous because it's an artsy thing, and you know, inherently, a lot of artsy people are are queer. But I think it's just like this feeling of like I feel like a lot of creative spaces are pretty inherently queer. So it was a matter of time before
Yeah,
pottery became like a hobby for
for
everyone.
sure. For sure. And I just also think that like when a woman just like shaping
Uh
the
huh.
clay, I just think that's sexual. I just think
I
that
just
that's
think that
sexual. I don't know.
sexual.
I don't know, man. It's a little
Well, I kind of feel that I'm just gonna toss it in because I already said it was woodworking. I think, especially doing the lathe, actually does seem kind of gay too because you're shaping stuff, and usually it's
yeah.
and the products are like very smooth and rounded, kind of. I don't know, like very soft, and I picture that being a gay woman doing that. So,
Yes, I agree.
yeah,
I
agreed,
I agree. I
agreed.
agree.
Pottery. Uh, I put this like fun crew socks. And I mean like things with prints and like color ones. And including myself,
Yeah.
I have crew socks. Well, they just have a stripe on it. Never mind, that's nothing interesting. But like Jason, my other best friend, he's always worn like silly crew socks. That's just like always been his thing. Charlie, she loves a fucking print on her goddamn socks. You know,
I've seen it.
I like it sometimes, but I'm also just like a simple person when it comes with some clothing. I actually just like really basic ass black and white crew socks because they go with anything.
Yes,
But I do have some fun ones when I want to wear them, you know? But I feel like,
yes.
yeah, funny crew socks. Um,
That's funny.
that
That's
also goes
funny.
for artsy women who aren't gay, art women and gays. We like a silly
Yes,
crew
I
sock.
agree. I agree. To follow that up, because on the subject of clothing, jumpsuits slash overalls. I think it's very, very gay,
You're calling
and
out my
I
girlfriend.
love,
Where is she?
I, I
Calling her out.
love a
She
good
literally has
jumpsuit. I
that
love a good overall.
jumpsuit that she has, and then she also has this leopard print overalls that I bought for her, and they're like oversized, so they're like kind of
I've seen
loose.
them.
Oh yeah, you've seen them,
I've
yeah.
seen them.
I bought those for her.
Yeah, I love and like in any way, shape, or form. Like I like them like in a cute little like dress form, cute, like with a little turtleneck for the femme.
Hmm.
I like a dicky large ass overall, with a
For the
little beanie
masks.
tip to the side.
And I love how right you
Um,
are about the turtleneck with the overall.
you know, I love that because it gives like 90s, like little like
That's like
cute
Charlie's style.
cuteness.
She's very early 2000s, late 90s, with a little
Yeah,
sprinkles of modern in there, of like current day,
yeah,
but
I feel like that's where my style like leans decade wise. But I definitely am like I'm not an 80s baby, obviously, but like I do like 80s like an 80s kind of style too. So I kind of like lean that as well. But yeah,
I don't know
I
what
love
I
the
like. I just like
overall.
things. I wanted to get a pair of overalls, but the problem is that with Charlie and I talk about this all the time. She has a shorter torso and longer legs, and I have a longer torso and shorter legs. And the short legs
Oh,
are real hard sometimes with like overalls or like certain certain pants that look great on her, but not great on me.
yeah. Right. I think I have a hard time finding overalls too, and I don't know if it's because I feel like I'm a little like average size proportion wise.
We'll have to see
I
how
think
high your
I'm
butt is
fine.
compared to me and Charlie. I bet you're like in the middle of us.
Yeah, let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's check it. Like because Charlie and I are the same height, you know? Aren't we?
I think she might be just a teeny bit smaller because you're like an inch taller than me, right? So she might be like in the middle of us, to be honest. Her hair makes her
Oh,
tall.
you're 5'3". Are you 5'3"?
Yeah.
You're 5'3". I'm 5'4". Okay, so then she's like,
We're
not as
almost, she's literally like only like the most minuscule, much taller than me. She likes to point that out a lot. So
yeah, yeah. It says she's all legs, but I do
she
want
all
to see
legs
if
though. She
my
is all
proportions
legs.
are
Yes.
right. Because the thing is that I feel like I have trouble finding overalls as well. Because like sometimes overalls like come up to like my crotch,
Yeah.
or sometimes they're just like, I don't know, there's something off. Because like I want some jean overalls really, really bad, but I can't find
Same.
so I'll just like grab like, I'll just buy like linen type overalls, like very like cottage core, but yeah, I love a little overall, and I've been like wanting to wear like a nice little fancy jumpsuit to like a wedding or something, like a cute little, because I don't like wearing dresses a lot.
On the theme of clothes, cuffed jeans.
Hello,
You know what's
age
funny?
old right
I've
there.
done that since I was younger, but to me it was more of my art brain at first, but also probably, inherently the queer in me. But I mean, I used to do it because I used to wear like just like black a lot or dark colors, dark blue jeans with like, so I would cuff them because it's lighter on the inside and it gave a
Look,
separation of my pants and like my shoes.
yeah,
So that was my logic. I was like, it gives me some sort of separation so it doesn't look like I just have like my shoes are connected to my pants.
yeah, I get that. I would do the same too. I never thought it was like a gay thing until like way later when it was pointed out.
But
Like,
maybe that's our
hey, that's
realization that, I mean, a lot of queers do it.
they do, I guess they do. But I used to do it very often, like very very often, I guess. And now I don't do it that often because my pants are already like they're usually very wide and like they go up to
Well, like skinny jean wise, before they came out with like short jeans, I had to fold them because I'm too short.
I would always do them. I would always do that. I would always have to do that too. Yeah. I think my jeans were usually very long.
Yeah.
So I had to cuff them. This was for like functional reasons.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, remember when we had like flared jeans and that shit would just get
Yeah.
wet at the very bottom because they were dragging?
Mhm.
That shit, that was terrible.
It was awful. I hated
And
the
now we have
sensation.
like correct length jeans. I feel like companies make different lengths now, so that helps a lot more with like that
Yeah.
dragging of if you're wearing looser pants. Um, like I have a pair of cargo pants that I like a lot. They're a little looser on me. They're very tight on my butt though. Charlie doesn't mind that though. But like it's looser on the legs because I don't have a lot of loose pants. I think it's again for like my body type. It always just kind of looked a little funny because of my short legs, long torso situation. But I'm slowly finding stuff
Yeah.
that kind of works for me, like the wedding. Oh, did I ever show you some of the pictures from? There's a picture of me and Charlie, but I have like these loose pants and a vest that
That's
worked for
another gay
me. And
thing.
I also I also have like heels on and stuff, but can you see it?
Oh, I love this. I love this. This is very nice. I love the vest and pantsuit, but I think that's a very, very gay thing. Very
Yeah.
gay.
But it's either that or tall skinny girls because they pull off any like some kind of very gay outfits without looking gay. And that's being one of them, because the model from the photo of when I bought it, she was just like this tall white girl. But she doesn't look gay to me. It just fit her very perfectly, and she had like these really nice heels on. But somehow, when I wear it, it looks very gay. But I am gay, so it doesn't matter. But it's just like, it's just crazy how if you're like a tall model, you could pretty much do a lot of tomboy stuff just because it fits you in a way that it doesn't necessarily make you look queer. And that gets confusing if they are queer and they just happen to be a tall, skinny model. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's true. You go.
Me? I think this already just has a history in queer history anyways. The color lavender. Because like if you've heard of like lavender marriages, because it's like usually one or both people are queer, but they're like married to one. In the past, obviously, was to hide that they were queer, but also now I feel like it's just because gay men hate men, and they just like, you want to like get married and just be cute little gays together. But also I think lavender used to like represent like queer people like in the past, but I've just noticed like the color lavender.
That's funny that you say that because I also have a color in my list too. But this pertains more to like decor. But I was gonna say green velvet furniture, like just like the green velvet couch is like.
We almost bought one, and I wanted to buy one because I was just like, we have to for the culture. But I got a free couch from my landlord, so I didn't end up getting one.
Right.
But I was like, we got to do it for the culture. Obviously, you're moving in with me. We got to do it. I also just really like green. I mean, I have like this green like velvet like blanket like that we have on our bed right now. Oh, you haven't been here in a while. We put like this dark green wallpaper on the side where our bed is. And then I have like a burnt orange like pillow covers and then I have this green like velvet like kind of quilted.
That's just like my vibe. Like I love it like a mustard. Like I don't know if that's very gay.
Let's put that in there because I do feel like I was talking with my sister too. She doesn't like to wear mustard because she thinks it makes her look like a banana. And I was like, but I'm wearing mustard right now. But she was like, I think your undertone's different from mine. And she might be right. Who knows? Like your skin undertones, yellow, reds, and other stuff. So like maybe you're right. Who knows?
I think it looks really good on like olive to like reddish tone skin. Yeah. I don't think it looks very good on me, but I love it everywhere.
I do love it. I will say it might make you look pale.
That's what I'm saying, like yellow and like
but decor, like those decor, it could look. I mean, I have mustard yellows everywhere in my living room. You've been here. I mean,
you see, I love that shit. I love a mustard yellow. Like I'm just like so like my eyes are like boom mustard yellow. Like I feel like I'm always like.
I know. Our rug, everything. I was like, we got to switch up some. Like I have other colors in this color palette that's in my head. And I was just like, I keep buying too much yellow shit. I got to get the other colors in the palette, like navy blues and light pinks. Oh yeah, it's like you can take it apart. I got it from Costco. You can like take it apart. It's also so like a little bit.
That looks so velvety. It's velvet.
You know what? I'm gonna throw that in there. Velvet.
Velvet. I just don't know. It feels clear. And also, I like that velvet. It also is a change of a texture, and it gives me like a 90s feel too. For some reason,
I think it's like also like
in the 90s and early 2000s. It was.
Yeah, I mean, you remember like Juicy Couture and stuff, but that wasn't gay to me then. That seemed very straight girl. But like, I feel like it almost rebranded itself because now I think the velvet we like is giving that like 70s. Style vibes, like fashion, the like good 70s fashion.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's what we kind of like about it, even though Juicy Couture is a part of our past, and I just think they're fun. Have you watched Agatha All Along?
I watched the first episode, but I haven't.
Oh, There is one. It doesn't spoil anything. There's one episode where she's like changing through a bunch of different outfits, and one of them
Yeah.
was a velvet like couture outfit. I saw it
Oh,
because she was that in the first
that.
episode.
Wasn't it in the first episode when she was like revealing
Uh, is it the first? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, and it had like those little like rhinestone words on the butt, and it was really funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, velvet, a velvet green. Yes, I do like a velvet green, like
Velvet.
my bedspread right now.
And like it's just like it has to be a specific green, like it's like a forest.
Yes, I like dark. Don't get me wrong, I love olive green. But aside from that, I like dark greens, and not forest green, not Kelly green, because that used to be my high school colors, and that's a very different green. And I know people get really mad about specific names. Green? I know people get mad about like why don't people just say green? Because I'm like, I work in art shit. So when people tell me green, I have to get a specific number for it.
Yeah, Kelly green.
So I need to know what type of green it is. Because if you told me a forest green, I know you want like a darker green. If you tell me an olive green, I was like, oh, you want something muted. Even if it's not exactly olive green.
Yeah.
Kelly green's a little too bright.
Sage.
It's too
sage green is nice.
It's too my high school colors. Not really into that.
Okay.
It's like slightly too bright. Something about the moodiness of a dark green I like. And then the olive green is very hipster, I feel like. And I went to an art school and we love olive green everywhere. Actually, I have olive greens in here. They're everywhere.
Yeah, olive green. I like to wear it. I like to wear olive green.
I got into greens more, darker greens lately, like my satin green shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah. My favorite color is chartreuse.
I've never heard anybody say that that's their favorite color.
I love it. It's so fun. Every time I see it, I'm like, but yeah. Okay. I have here in my list shopping at Spencer's or Hot Topic.
And you know what's funny is that I'll still go in there if I see one just to look at all the silly things.
It's just like so I felt like weird going into those stores when I was younger, when I was like really, really young. I was like, why are we allowed to like be in the store? I'm not supposed to be here. Oh my god. Like I would just go with people just like for fun. Just be like, oh my god, there's dildos here. But I always felt like there was like just a level of gay when you went in there that you have. It was either like questioning or like really, really gay. Now it's like you go in there and maybe you'll see some poly people, some ethically monogamous people.
People finding funny graphic tees, and they're usually queer.
Yeah, they're usually queer. Like a whole bunch of shit in there is queer and fun and like cute. But yeah, definitely shopping at Spencer's and Hot Topic.
This is like an art thing. I don't know if it's just me, but you know what washi tape is?
Of course.
I feel like a lot of queer artists just love to make little art things with little washi tapes, make little frames out of them to stick something on the wall, or when you go to like an artist alley, they'll like seal the thing with some washi tape. And they're always like, an artist can get custom washi tapes now, and like I've seen people like literally sell their own tapes.
Yeah. I was into washi tape for a little while when I was bullet journaling, and I was just obsessed with getting washi tape so I could bullet journal with my journal that I just doodled in and I planned anything in. But yeah, I agree to some extent, but it's just I saw a lot of people use washi tape and they were like straight Asian girls.
Yeah, but I feel like the straight Asian girlies are into that kind of shit anyways. I just feel like they're into any of like cute things. I feel like the Asian girlies just like cute shit. And you know what? The gays like cute shit. So we'll just anything kawaii, it's
cute.
For the Asian girlies and the
Anything.
gays.
Oh my God. Well, this isn't in my list, but I think those headphones, those cat headphones that the gamer girls
Charlie
wear,
totally wants
gay.
them.
That's gay. That's basically like a rainbow flag.
I know. I saw someone, I don't think they were gay, but it was just, I feel like we like silly shit like that. Some people like, because I want to do it too, like 3D print little things to put on your headphones. I saw one where it made them look like a Pikmin from the video game Pikmin. It's just a little weed coming out, and I thought that was really cute. I'm like, I want to be a Pikmin.
That's mad cute.
We like little cutesy shits. That's what I feel like.
Yeah. Anything that's like anything that's cute and small. Like those little what are they called? They're like a pale green little, are they stem things? They're like all over TikTok. Oh yes, a smisky.
Oh, Smiskies. Yes. Got it.
Yes, those,
You know, I
feel
remember
like.
there used to be like these little figurines that I used to have. They were called homies.
Oh, homies.
I used to have
homies. Yes.
I miss those.
Oh my God. Wow, those are so old. That's wild.
I aged myself with that one? That one's, yeah.
You low-key.
Low-key. Oops.
Okay.
Whatever, I had homies. Okay, we're gonna wrap up. So I have one more. Do you have any more?
I don't have any more. What do you have?
Mine was, I think this is another one that maybe I would put in the category of Asian girlies and the gays. Any type of like platform shoes. Well, ones that like where a regular shoe turned into a platform shoe, like platform Converses, like my girlfriend has.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. It's what else? I think Crocs are also made like.
Dude, you know that they came out with an even bigger platform Croc? Gays. The gays are gonna get that. I just know it.
No.
Yeah, they did. I swear they just came out with one. But yeah, platform shoes that, especially if it was already a brand that existed without platforms and then it was turned into platforms. That seems very queer girl to me. Femme.
That's Charlie.
Very queer femme.
It's Charlie. Charlie just loves to wear like a fucking chunky ass heel.
Remember her? You've seen them before. She had these Fila's that were like.
Yeah, I remember.
Granted, though, I tried on her platform Converse. They were very comfy, and they made me a little taller. And I was like, "Should I wear these?" She's like, "Yeah, you should wear them sometimes, so I can be taller every once in a while."
Yes, period. I haven't gotten a pair of Converse in a really long time, but I heard that Travis told me that they're making them different. They're like they're like less flat nowadays.
You know that Converse started out as a basketball shoe in the 20s?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Yes. That would just hurt my feet after a while. Basketball? Like if we're running lines and shit? Fuck that.
That's crazy. Like I can't believe I was, the Converse was like my dancing shoe. Like I was dancing in Converse. Like,
dancing shoes.
For long hours all day.
I don't know why I said. I mean, I do like when I used to lift weights. I wore flat shoes because it's better to be very flat when you lift weights. So that makes sense. Yeah. So I always had like slip-ons or Converse or actual barefoot shoes. But yeah, all right, yeah, platform shoes. That's my last little inherently queer thing.
That's a good ending. That's a good ending there. Yeah, that should get.
But yeah. We're slowly getting on track with trying to be on a regular schedule with our podcast, just because there's like a month there where just a lot was happening. But and people who are feeling a little down because of, election and other stuff, like me, I have probably seasonal depression right now. I hope you're doing well. Take care of yourself. Find your community. Chill. Do what you need to do. Thanks for joining us.
Go out there, take a walk. Take so many walks.
Take several walks.
The weather.
Run if you need to.
Good for it.
I want to know other queer objects if anyone has any other ones.
Please.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Please. We're missing a ton.
A ton. But yeah, you can find us video and audio on Spotify and YouTube. We're on Instagram and TikTok at 30s Dirty Thoughtin'. And you can email us at 30dirtythoughtin@gmail.com. And that's it. We're just trying to get through stuff and surviving, guys.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah,
We hope you're doing all right. So, bye.